Hello everybody, bright suns, welcome back to Ordinary Adventures.
We're still stuck in quarantine, but today we're going to take a virtual trip to a galaxy far, far away. We're going to take a preview of the Galactic Starcruiser that's being built in Walt Disney World. Come with us on this adventure. As you probably know, there is a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in both Disneyland and Disney World resorts.
There is?
Yes, we've been there. In Disney World, it is in Hollywood Studios, and they are building a hotel that is going to be right next to it. The whole premise is that we are going to get to stay on a spaceship in the Star Wars galaxy. So this is going to be a 2-day, 2-night experience, and we're going to go through everything we know. What is the ship? It is called the Halycon. It is a Chandrilian starliner. Come on.
What are the words coming out of your mouth right now?
Well, honestly, Ben Solo was born on Chandrilia. Yeah, so this starliner, I think, was apparently built on that world where Ben Solo was born before he ended up becoming Kylo Ren. So this was announced at D23 Expo, and we were there at the unveiling. You can see on screen right now some footage of, they had this model on display of the spaceship itself. We were looking at concept art. What do you think of it?
I think it's pretty darn cool looking. You could definitely see the cruise ship vibes, all the windows on the side looking out like a cruise ship.
The front of it's almost like the blockade runner. So you can see that, yeah. One thing I did want to mention, there's an Easter egg hidden in Galaxy's Edge. It was in view in our site before they even announced the name of the ship. If you go over to the Toydarian Toy Maker and you look up in the window, you can see the person that runs the shop. You can hear her doing things in the background in the office, and one of the things is she gets the spam call saying that she's won an all-expense paid trip to aboard the Halycon.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
So it was there the entire time. We didn't realize it until after they actually announced the name of the ship. Almost like any cruise ship you've ever been on, you get dropped off at a terminal, and that's when the experience starts. So you get dropped off at the terminal. It's right near Hollywood Studios. It's actually across the street.
Oh, that's a nice looking terminal.
Yeah,
very futuristic looking.
You're paying a lot of money, so the money has to go somewhere. I want to go there right now, I can tell you that. So you go in through the doors and you enter a launch pod that will take you off into space.
This honestly seems like the coolest thing. It looks like a little escape pod or something.
There's a window above that you can actually see the spaceship, the Halycon, that you are going to. So it's closely approaching, and I'm sure you're feeling it. I'm sure it's moving.
Yeah.
Like the first area in Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like a ride in its own way. And here's a shot right here, concept art of the pod actually docking with the Halycon. Once the airlock opens, you'll hear that Star Wars door noise, the whoosh, like that kind of thing.
The what kind of noise? Whoosh. Okay. Oh yeah, that noise.
You know what I'm talking about. I got excited. I want to walk through Star Wars doors. You enter into the ship's main atrium, and the atrium looks like a bustling place. There's tons of stuff going on. I mean, here it looks like the First Order have boarded the ship. There's some droids running around.
Okay, yeah.
Chewbacca is helping out with some luggage.
There's kind of a K2SO IG-88 looking droid, a tall, skinny droid walking around. I really hope that is there.
In the concept art for Galaxy's Edge, there was aliens and there was droids, and we didn't really get a lot of those.
Yeah.
We did get R2-D2, but whatever.
R2-D2 deserves more respect than just a whatever.
I just thought there was going to be droids everywhere. I thought there was going to be creatures everywhere, and it really is few and far between.
Fingers crossed that this delivers.
Yeah.
This is what we want and what we deserve.
In the background, there's a holo message.
Is that what
that's being received? Yeah, I think it's a holo message. And there's also a second level, some gantry ways and stuff like that. I'm sure there's going to be some action taking place up there at some point.
To me, this area kind of reminds me of a hotel lobby. Yeah. Or I guess the giant atrium ballroom that are in the actual Disney cruise ships. It looks small.
Well, there's not going to be that many people there at any one time. Okay. Only a few hundred people. So
I guess that makes sense then.
Everything that we were promised for Galaxy's Edge, like the interactive storylines that we didn't get, living your own Star Wars adventure, we know it got cut for budgetary reasons. And it seems like it's all going into this because this is going to cost a fortune. What they say is your choices of who you align with will affect your adventure. You can choose to align yourself with the First Order or the Resistance. Are we going to go on this and you're going
to... When we go on this, we're going to have to like choose different sides to get both experiences.
Does that mean we don't get to go on the same adventures together?
But I want to be a Jedi. Maybe you should be the bad guy this time.
The story will include interactions with other crew members, some of which are alien, some of which are robots or droids, other passengers, and also First Order and Resistance characters that will come on board the ship. More on that later. The interesting thing here is there's going to be missions and there's going to be side missions. Okay, let's look at this. This is interesting. Here's the interior. This shows...
Oh, I've never seen this before.
So here's a blueprint, but you enter the terminal on the right there. You go through this pre-show sequence, and then you board a launch pod. And that actually, I think, brings you up a level, and you get out of the launch pod so I guess it's like an elevator. It's kind of like the Haunted Mansion stretching.
Makes sense.
And you get out of there into the main atrium that we saw the concept art of. There's a wing of hotels, and I've actually heard there's expansion pads to add more hotel rooms in the future if they wanted to. Here's the whole layout. There's a cantina on that level. There's the bridge. There's a boutique. Boutique. Yeah. Hey.
Oh, look, there's restrooms.
Yeah. You're excited about the restrooms?
It's a lot smaller than I was anticipating.
This is the third level, which has a catwalk.
Oh, I guess there's multiple levels.
Yeah, so let's go back down to the first level here. This also has the dojo where they have the lightsaber fighting, has an engineering room right here in the middle. That's the table service restaurant, so that's where we will dine, the dining hall, I think.
I think that's what I'm most excited for.
And here on the left are the cabins. So you can see like the wing of cabins. You go down a hallway, just like a normal hotel.
Man, we need to stay in one of those first class cabins. How expensive do you think that's going to be compared to...
I don't know. It's interesting. The guest rooms here, there's 3 different classes. There's the typical class, there's captain cabins, and there's first class cabins.
Okay.
Each floor has 32 regular cabins, and then 2 of the captain cabins, which are bigger. And also 8 of those regular sized rooms are considered first class, but they're the same size, so I'm not sure what that means. So here's like a family. I think she's hanging out in like one of the bunk beds. So you have your queen or double bed, and then there's the 2 like bunks.
So was that just the standard room with the bunk beds?
I think that's the standard room.
Oh my god,
looks
I'm
like there's a restaurant
so sleeping in one of the bunk beds. How fun does that look? It looks like one of those capsule pod hotels in Japan.
Every room in this hotel or in the Starcruiser comes with a window into space.
Wow.
So it actually changes. You'll see, I guess, if the First Order invade or something like that, I guess you'll probably see their Star Destroyer come into view and stuff like that.
I feel like we're gonna have to have like a GoPro set to like be watching that window the entire trip that we're there.
Here's another view. This might be a captain's cabin. The bed looks a little bit bigger.
Wow, look at that bedding.
The window looks a little bit bigger.
I love the color scheme in here. It's very like BB-8 chic.
Oh yeah, totally. Little buttons, and it just feels very Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm guessing the captains and the first class just have like bigger windows. I mean, more space, obviously, but then the windows are bigger.
What do you think you get in the first class over the regular?
You get like a droid butler that serves you space wine whenever you want.
So each room fits up to 5, has a double bed, 2 bunks, but they're selling this like a cruise, so you're paying per person, not for the room like you would a normal hotel. There is 3 levels of the hotel rooms, and there's about 100 cabins total. So I did the math here.
Oh.
And that means there's a maximum capacity of about 500 people. Well, to compare this to like Disney World hotels, the Caribbean Beach Hotel has 2,000 rooms. This only has 100. This will only accommodate, by my numbers, if it sells out, up to 1,800 families per year.
We're gonna have a real hard time getting in, aren't we?
That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about I'm not only worried about being able to afford this experience, but being able to be able to spend my money on it. Let's take a look at some areas of the ship. There is a bar. It is called the Silver Sea Lounge.
Ooh.
And it will offer a warm and inviting retreat for passengers of all ages.
The thing that I'm immediately drawn to is look at those drinks that they're drinking at the table.
Yeah, they're very interesting looking drinks.
The cups.
See, what I'm drawn to is the fact that they have this holographic version of Sabacc. How many tables are going to be like that? If there's only one table of that, people are going to be waiting hours. Just
It looks like there is only one. It looks like a very small bar.
And it looks like, there's also kids there, so it's not just for adults. And by the way, look at that drink. It's steaming, or there's some
what is happening here? Sorry, I'm trying to get a closer look. Wow. It looks like this bar has my droid butler that I wanted to serve me drinks, because it looks like there's an R unit droid.
If I could get my drink
now you're
brought
excited.
To me, is it gonna be like R2's thing from Jabba's palace, where he has the whole?
Oh my god, could you imagine?
That would be awesome. There is a table service restaurant. When they actually first announced Galaxy's Edge, they showed this video on one of the ABC specials of this dinner show. It got cut from the budget. Here is concept art of this dinner show.
Wow.
And I think this is basically going to be translated into what they will offer on the Starcruiser.
Looks like C-3PO's there.
Or someone like him, yeah. And there's some kind of dancer in the middle. Here there's a Twi'lek singing with a cantina band behind her.
If there is no singing band in this hotel, I'm going to be so disappointed. That's the one thing I wanted in Galaxy's Edge that they didn't deliver to me.
You're there for 2 days, so you're going to be there for 2 nights, 2 dinners. Do you think they'll have 2 different dinner shows?
Yeah, I would think so. They probably have an early dinner and a late dinner, just like the cruise.
You make a good point.
Because they can't have everybody in there at the same time.
I was actually wondering that myself, because I'm looking at the lightsaber training. Here's a picture of the lightsaber training, and you're wielding a lightsaber against a training remote of some kind. And I'm wondering, all the kids are going to want to be in that room, but that room isn't big enough to accommodate all the kids. But I'm guessing you have different scheduled times. What I wonder here is, how is this experience going to work? Is this going to work with Savi's lightsabers, or are these going to be... I know when Galaxy's Edge was first announced, Disney patented a way to make real lightsabers. It looks like a real blade comes out of a hilt where there's not a plastic thing. I'm wondering if that's what we're going to get to play with there.
The thing that scares me about this concept art when I first initially saw it at D23 is it looks like there's a big group of people in the room with you, kind of all waiting for their turn. And I just hope it isn't like that, because I don't want to feel pressured. I want to take my time and really train. Yeah. With just me and you and, whoever else we go with in the room.
Yeah, you don't like being in front of crowds.
I don't.
When we go to the Magic Castle or a magic show, she doesn't like getting picked.
I get nervous. Yeah. Who would think? I'm on YouTube, but I get nervous in front of crowds.
They also say that in this experience, you may discover your own connection with the Force.
Oh.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Do you have any ideas?
No idea. Maybe you'll come out of this experience being able to move things around the Starcruiser with your hand and stuff.
I didn't even think of that.
Maybe it'll be a lot more like Harry Potter, the Wizarding World. At one point, you are going to get your time on the bridge to learn about the ship's systems, how they operate, including the navigation and defense, and skills that you learn here may come in handy during the journey.
Yeah, it seems like maybe something might happen. You might need to use these things that you learned to help out. Ooh, BB-8's there.
Yeah. And you can see a Star Destroyer outside the window there, so I'm assuming...
This looks like stuff is going down.
There's a Mon Calamari Akbar there. I hope it's really like this. This is going to be so much fun. They also say as part of this interactive story, you will discover hidden spaces deep in the mechanics of the ship, perfect for uncovering secrets or holding secret meetings. And there's a picture here of concept art of a little mechanics area in the bows of the ship.
Can you imagine being a child and getting to go on this experience?
It looks like one of those areas on the Disney cruise ships that is so immersively themed, but it's for parents to drop their kids off and for them to like, you know, just play and hang out with their friends. Yeah. And I'm worried that it's going to be a little bit of that.
Well, that's what makes me worried about all the missions in general. Is it like just for kids, or?
I hope there's something there for adults, because I don't know if Disney knows this, but there's probably going to be a lot of couples just going there without
on
kids.
On a romantic vacation.
We're also told that some of the characters from the movies will appear on the ship. Rey and Chewbacca will be on board at some point. Kylo Ren and the First Order of Stormtroopers.
If it's just the stormtroopers and Kylo walking around doing the same kind of act and saying the same things that they say on Batuu.
Well, I think it's going to be a little bit different. There's some rumors here. Skip ahead a minute if you don't want any spoilers. There's going to be this whole action sequence where Kylo Ren will, like, the railings and such, they have, like, the ability to spark, and there's going to be laser blasts fired. And at one point, Kylo is going to, like, rip open part of the ceiling.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, this is news to me. Kind of wish I wasn't spoiled.
I think it's going to be incredible to see it in person, even if you know that.
Of course. Wow, that's going to be
And there's also the ability that he could pull actors with the Force up and, like, remember there was a concept art
He's going to, like, Force choke them. They're actually going to, like, okay, this sounds awesome.
So there's also areas on board that we don't have concept art of, but are included in the blueprint. So there's the boutique, which is going to have exclusive merch that you can't get anywhere else. I feel like it's going to be like that, like Club 3030 merch that, like, you have the, you know, the Halcyon mug and you bring that home and everybody's jealous.
It's like shaped like the ship and it's not practical to drink out of. I'm still getting one. I don't care.
There's a brig, which, if you don't know, is basically like a jail. So I wonder at some point, are you going to be jailed and have to break out, like Rise of the Resistance, or are you going to have to capture some people? I don't understand. What is that?
I definitely am gonna play as First Order, because if I get captured, how fun.
But then you get stuck in jail for.
Doesn't sound fun to you. I don't know why that just made me so, like, excited.
As part of the multi-day journey on the Halcyon, you'll take a special planetary excursion to Batuu's Black Spire outpost. So they actually have this bus that's themed like a transport, and you board this, and it kind of looks like a bus. There's going to be screens showing space flying outside and stuff like that. And this will actually transport you across the street from where the hotel is to the park. I don't know where it's going to connect to the park, though. There's been some rumors that it could be, you know where the First Order store is? There's that door there.
Yeah, that big door.
That could be the entrance and exit to the transport.
Makes sense.
There's actually some concept drawings of how this is going to work. So that's what the bus looks like. It's a bus with no windows.
Oh, so you won't even, like, go outside at all.
No.
You just enter it and then, wow, that's really cool.
Now here's the interesting thing. They haven't really talked a lot about your trip to Batuu, but we have heard there's going to be interactive elements that in places in Galaxy's Edge that you will only experience from the Starliner trip.
This has me intrigued, because, like, what does that mean?
When they were pitching Galaxy's Edge, there was a moment where they were pitching that if you did bad on Smuggler's Run, that a bounty hunter might come up to you and Oga is looking for you.
That never happened.
But I think that's hard to do on a big scale of how many people are in Galaxy's Edge. Maybe that sort of stuff is easier to handle when you're dealing with, you know, only 100 rooms of people. You're probably going to get to the terminal in the early afternoon, right? Kind of like a cruise ship. And then you're going to get off the cruise ship or the Starliner 2 days later. I wonder if your trip to Batuu will include reservations to things like Oga's or Savi's.
Oh, for sure. It has to. If you want them.
Or is that like extra, like, you know how when you're on a cruise ship and you got to book the extra, like, excursions?
I think it's going to give you the luxury of, like, if you want to go to Savi's and build a lightsaber, you could get a spot. But, I mean, you'll probably have to pay for the lightsaber itself.
Your trip to Batuu, is it going to be freeform, like you get to go on your own, or you're going to have, like, a guide with you? Maybe that's how the interactions happen. Maybe there's, you know, you have a dozen people in your group, and that's when the bounty hunter comes up to you guys. Originally, reservations were announced to open later this year in 2020, and the hotel itself is going to open in 2021. We have not heard otherwise, but construction has stopped on the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel. There have been rumors that has been defunded to finish projects like the Light Cycle Run, Tron Ride, and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. But those rumors have not been confirmed to be true in any way. The question is, how much is this going to cost? How much would you be prepared to spend?
Per person?
Yeah.
2,000?
Well, I will tell you this, that it's cruise pricing, so the rumor has it that if you were one person, you were single, and you wanted to rent a room, it would cost you $3,300 for the experience.
For both nights?
Yeah, but that's just one person. The rumor is if a cabin with 5 passengers would cost $7,200, or roughly $1,440 per person.
That just seems, that's so much money.
It's a lot of money.
All the profits we make from this channel is going to go towards that.
Yeah.
Well, also you got to think, people are traveling to Walt Disney World and they're going to go to this thing for 2 days. And then they're going to want to also go to Magic Kingdom. They're going to want to go to all the other parks, you know, so add another 3 or 4 days on top of that. That's an expensive vacation. Do
you think COVID-19 will change anything happening here? But hopefully by then there would be a vaccine, right? Like this is not going to open until at least 2021.
I'm sure they'll be practicing just more, they'll have more strict health codes and safety measures in general by then. And there will be a vaccine. So hopefully it could be normal.
Yeah, that dancing Twi'lek's going to have to cover up a little bit.
Hey, if there's a droid roaming around just like with Lysol wipes, like constantly wiping stuff, I wouldn't be mad at it. That's fine. Do what you gotta do. I'm very excited. I'm gonna be honest, when they first announced this, or they first showed the concept art at D23, I was kind of underwhelmed.
Why?
Just because it seemed like exactly like Galaxy's Edge, just more confined, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I'm like, you do a lightsaber training, I don't know.
No, I get that. What made you more excited about it?
Looking at all this stuff now, it's just got me pumped. Because there's a lot of stuff in here that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that you told me about.
Yeah, the whole action, the stunt show kind of thing going on.
The possibilities are what intrigued me. Having force powers if stuff like actually did move. All like the awesome food that there's going to be in drinks.
Okay, so now it is time for us to answer questions.
As you guys know, we like to answer questions at the end of every video, and today we're going to be answering the questions from the How to Make Churros video. So if you want your question answered, leave it right down in the comments down below to be featured on our next video.
Yeah, and if you want to go to the comments, you could like up other people's questions. That helps us choose which questions we're going to answer. So the first question we're going to answer is from Ann Bear. He asked, would you like to see more Star Wars character spin-off movies? And if so, which characters would you like to see get their own film? First off, I would say I want to see more stories in the Star Wars galaxy from new characters and new places. I want to explore this galaxy. I don't know why we have to come back to the same people and planets.
I would like to see either a Wicket the Ewok or a Babu Frick movie.
Next question is, what series are you guys binge watching right now in quarantine?
We've been watching a lot of YouTube, actually.
We just found these new YouTubers, Iman and Beck.
Oh yeah, we're obsessed with them.
And they like live in a van and travel the world. Not now, not during, the pandemic, but before the world fell apart.
What have we been watching besides that?
Devs. We really like Devs.
Oh, we finished Devs. There was something else. Oh, we just recently finished the show on Netflix called Outer Banks.
Yeah.
Which was so good and bad at the same time.
If you like Scandal or the OC, or I imagine Riverdale, we never saw Riverdale. I imagine that's kind of like that kind of trashy fun.
Yeah. So
it's like Goonies for teenagers.
Yeah, check out Outer Banks.
Andrew noticed our Muppet poster in the background, and he wanted to know who was our favorite Muppet, and what is our favorite Muppet movie.
My favorite Muppet is Rizzo, and my favorite Muppet movie is probably Muppets Take Manhattan.
That's my favorite movie.
Really?
Yeah, I think everybody usually likes the first one, but I just love New York stories. Somebody's getting married. That whole sequence at the end, amazing. Having to pick my favorite character, that's hard. That's really hard. I feel like Beaker. I like Beaker a lot.
You like Beaker?
Yeah, I know he has a small role, but he packs the laughs. M. Torres asks, which is your favorite Harry Potter movie and why?
My favorite Harry Potter movie is The Prisoner of Azkaban because that's my favorite book. Sirius Black is one of my favorite characters, and it's just a great story.
You also like Prisoner of Azkaban because you have good taste. That is the best, unequivocally the best movie. It has time travel.
Yeah.
It's directed by Alfonso Cuarón, who is an amazing filmmaker. I think it's just elevated above all the other ones. Next question comes from Mike Cross, who is a regular in the comments, and he asks, if you could change one thing about the Star Wars sequel trilogy, what would it be? I have an easy answer to this. Okay. I would change it so that one director directed all 3 films. As much as I like Last Jedi feels so different than the other 2. It feels like it's trying to do a different thing, and I know that's led to a lot of divisiveness. I wish we could have just had like JJ do all 3 and it be a more cohesive thing.
I would change it so Luke's story was the 3rd story, and maybe Carrie Fisher's story was the 2nd story.
In Last Jedi?
Yeah, so like Last Jedi, if that's like what they were gonna do, that could be the final thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The other thing I would change is have R2-D2 have a bigger role, because he kind of gets sidelined for a lot of it. And he was like one of the main people in the other trilogies. Yeah. Kelsey wants to know, what is your favorite Baby Yoda meme?
My favorite Baby Yoda meme is him drinking his tea, kind of like how Kermit sips his tea.
Yeah. Matt Smith asks, if you could bring one thing over from Galaxy's Edge at Disney World to Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, what would it be and why? I think our answers are going to be the exact same here. And that one thing would be...
alcoholic blue and green milk.
Well, I was going to say just alcohol policy in general. And if there's one thing I could give Disney World that Disneyland has, it would be...
the chocolate popcorn.
I was going to say that it's not as hot.
Okay.
Because every time I'm in Disney World, I'm like, dying.
Yeah. If you enjoyed today's style of video, go ahead and check out when we explored virtually Avengers Campus.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next adventure.